You are not required to have your video on. It's always nice to chat with folks that you can see, but if you'd like to keep it off, that's certainly okay. And I would ask everyone to be muted just so we can keep the barking dogs and the phones and things like that from being a distraction to others. And then naturally in the breakout portion of this programming, certainly unmute, and it would be wise to turn on your video then so that others can commune with you. So let's go ahead and get going, and others can join us in progress. So let me start by saying good morning, everyone. Welcome to Coffee and Connect. I'm Chris Bentley, and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here today. As I mentioned earlier, I brought my coffee in my favorite mug, and I hope that you have yours. Whether you're joining us with your morning coffee or tea or not, we are so glad that you chose to spend this time with us. I know showing up to something new takes some courage. It requires a leap of faith, if you will, but please know that you are in good company here. This space was created with only you in mind. Before we begin, I would like to extend a very special thank you to our guest and community partner, Kim Murray, founder of 411. Kim, thank you for your wisdom, warmth, and heart to our community today. We're honored to have you with us. Can't wait to hear your presentation. And I want to thank our other community leaders and volunteers who are with us today. If I miss you, I'm sorry, but I know Don Nargi with the W Connection is here, Lori Rich with Widow University, Lynn Keinholz with Widow Circles, and Stephanie Evans with Widowed Parent Relief Project. I also want to introduce Olivia Oster with Wings for Widows. Olivia is our Giving and Operations Manager. You can see her, I think. She can wait. She's waving. Coffee Connect was her idea, so we're thankful for her leadership and pulling all this together for us. And then finally, Coffee Connect is made possible through the generous funding from the Catholic Community Foundation of Minnesota. So a big shout out to those folks. We sure appreciate that. So some of you may be wondering why Wings for Widows is hosting these Coffee and Connect events. After all, we're known for providing financial coaching and education, not community coffee chats. But as we continued walking with people through the early days and months of widowhood, we realized something powerful. Information alone isn't enough. What people often need most is connection, real connection with others who understand your path. So we created Coffee Connect to introduce you to organizations and their fantastic resources and caring individuals you may not have even known existed. You're not alone, even if it feels that way sometimes. So we want you to know just how much support is available to you during this very challenging time. If this is your first time with us, here's a little bit about Wings for Widows. We're a nonprofit based here in Minnesota with a national reach. Our mission is to support widowed individuals, especially in those early days, weeks, and months of widowhood, with financial coaching, education, and resources to help bring clarity and peace of mind during an incredibly confusing and painful time. As you know, or will find out, there are hundreds of administrative, financial, and legal tasks, the stuff you got to deal with. You got to work through that after the loss of a spouse. And research indicates that families require up to 500 hours and more than $12,000 on average to settle a spouse's estate. That's crazy. So what Wings for Widows does is help you reduce that time and cost. So we offer 3 core services: free one-on-one financial counseling, coaching with financial professionals to help you make sense of everything that affects your finances, not just investments, benefits, legal matters, taxes, your income and expenses, healthcare coverage, and so much more. One-to-one virtual coaching with a financial professional who walks alongside you to address your largest concerns, help you prioritize what you need to do, and ensure you have clarity around your current situation and what your next steps are. This essential assistance is provided at no cost. WidowWise University is our online educational platform. It features a self-paced curriculum with checklists, videos, and lessons designed just for widowed individuals. We cover nearly 60 topics that affect almost everyone. So check out the first 5 lessons absolutely free. There is a small enrollment fee. If that's difficult for you to manage, then just apply for our Project Care Scholarship, and you can have free access to that resource as well. And finally, we provide a comprehensive resource center, free tools and information covering everything from Social Security, solo parenting, health and wellness, to grief, and networking resources. But above all, we're here to walk alongside you as you navigate these administrative and practical matters of life after loss. We strive to ensure that you have access to all the resources, not just ours, but our community's resources that are available to support you during this time. And that's why we're doing these Coffee and Connects. Make sure you're aware of everything that's available to you. So every month, you get to hear about another resource that you may not have known about that is now available to you. So today's program is going to last approximately 60 minutes. After my comments, I'll introduce our speaker. And after her presentation, we'll move into 5 breakout rooms for what we call our connection sessions. These are informal, welcoming spaces to share, listen, or simply be present with others who get it. These are not therapy sessions. We're not therapists, but they can be powerful therapy. And sometimes just being with others who understand makes all the difference in this world, right? I forgot about this slide. While I'm handing out thank yous, I want to thank our Getaway for Good vacation sponsor, WidowWise. WidowWise LLC's mission is to create and distribute educational content to the widowed community, to our partners, like Wings for Widows, like WidowWise University. One lucky winner, maybe you right here, is going to win this vacation just for attending the Coffee and Connect events. You receive 1 electronic raffle ticket for each Coffee and Connect event you attend. So the more events you register for, the greater your chances of winning. This winner will be announced during our final Coffee and Connect event in October. You do not need to be present to win, but why would you miss the October event if it improves your chances of winning? The October Coffee and Connect event is going to be a very, very exciting one. So until then, join us each month to learn about new resources and to connect with your peers, even if just for a short while. Now, I am delighted to introduce someone I greatly admire, Kim Murray, founder of Widow 411. Widow 411 is a digital resource hub. You're going to learn all about this, created to help widows navigate life after loss. Through her writing, empowering online programs, and practical grief tools, Kim offers compassionate, no BS support for widows and widowers ready to heal on their own terms. She regularly speaks about post-loss identity, emotional healing, and resilience. So Kim, again, thank you for being with us today.
Thanks so much for joining us today. I'm Kim Murray, and I've been a widow since 2014, when my husband died from glioblastoma just 1 year after his diagnosis. Our kids were only 8 and 10 years old at the time, and it was a lot. I honestly had no idea what I was doing. In the middle of all of that grief, I just kept looking for something, really anything, that felt like it could actually help me. And while I found a few checklists here and there, nothing really jumped out at me as a place to learn what I felt that I needed to know about widowhood. So I ended up creating Widow 411 as a place filled with real tools and support, because let's face it, widowhood already sucks. We don't need generic advice or pity. We need tools. We need resources. We need to know we're not alone and other people know what we're going through. I've been a solo parent, a business owner, and now I'm a remarried widow. So I bring all of that experience into the work that I do for widows because I've lived it. I've been where you are. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a financial expert, and I don't play one on TV. I'm just a real widow who figured some things out the hard way so you don't have to. When I went searching for help, I hit so many walls of awful cliches and toxic positivity things like, everything happens for a reason, or just be grateful you had love in the first place. And it's like, no, that is not helpful. So I ended up building what I couldn't find. I wanted a place for real talk, practical tools, and zero judgment. Because grief doesn't follow the rules, and neither should we. I'm here to bust through those awful, tired cliches and break the silence and tell the truth about what widowhood really feels like. Widow 411 is basically your one-stop shop for a little bit of widow wisdom. I've created over 130 blog posts packed with real advice, things that I went through, advice like how to kick widow guilt to the curb or come up with meaningful memorial ideas for your deceased spouse that don't make you want to cringe. I've also created a full suite of digital downloads and self-paced programs and grief guides that you can actually use whenever you need them. The whole point is to offer tools and resources that help with healing and bring clarity when everything's foggy, because widow brain, grief brain is a real thing, and support you in rediscovering your own strength and even find some joy, because yes, joy is also allowed too. So what exactly do I offer? Probably a lot more than most people realize. As I said, I've created a full ecosystem of support, especially for widows who are tired of digging through the fluff and the simple checklists and just really want some real help. It starts with over 130 blog posts that I've just mentioned, with topics ranging from grief brain, how to handle grief brain, and financial overwhelm, to literal tools and tricks to how to stop crying at the grocery store. I also send out a weekly newsletter every Saturday morning with grief insights, wellness tips, and book recommendations, and a whole lot more. The one that I'm most proud of is the Ultimate Survival Guide for Widows, because this is like your first year anchor. It walks you through handling what I call the business side of death, like changing account names and contacting credit card bureaus and credit card companies and a whole lot more. It's an online self-paced course that outlines all the things you need to handle in that first year, and it tells you what to do, when to do it, and most importantly, why. It is the exact resource that I wish I had when I was drowning in paperwork and tears. I also created a monthly self-care calendar download with doable ideas that don't involve bubble baths you're probably never going to take. Self-care is hard for widows, especially in the beginning, because there's just no time or energy to do anything for yourself. So I've curated a list of suggested activities for every month that are doable for you. It does not take a lot of time, energy, or money to take care of yourself. And with these self-care calendars, you can find those activities written out for you day by day, every month of the year. I have just recently released a guided gratitude journal available on Amazon called Crying Plus Trying, because let's be real, finding even one little shred of gratitude during the grieving process is really hard. So this journal helps you move through some of that chaos with a little bit more compassion for yourself and a little humor, and it helps you find the bits of light in all the darkness that you're going through. And most recently, I created the Widow 411 Grief Companion, which I'll tell you about next, because honestly, it's kind of a game changer. The Widow 411 Grief Companion is an AI-powered tool trained with all of my widow-specific content. So it's like having on-demand support that you can talk to anytime, day or night, 24/7. You can ask it questions about grief or guilt or anxiety or even practical stuff, and it will respond with the same kind of real talk and guidance that you'd find on my website, or that we might have in an email exchange with one another. No fluff, no judgment, just instant help when you need it the most. And I know some people hear the term AI or artificial intelligence and immediately want to run for the hills, and I get it. But to me, getting help when you need it is more important than how it's delivered. So that's why I created the Widow 411 Grief Companion. It's powered by AI, yes, but it's trained with my own content written for widows by a widow. It's private, always available, and actually helpful, especially when you're up at 2 a.m. and just need someone to talk to. So as an example, let's just say you wanted to start a conversation with the grief companion and you type in something like, the house is too quiet. So it might respond back to you and say, the house feels hollow because obviously someone huge is missing from it, but just know that it's okay to hate the silence. And then it might ask, after a few more validating correspondence, it might ask, do you want to talk about what parts of the quiet feel the hardest? And then let's just say that you respond with, the weekends are the hardest. Well, after validating your concerns and offering compassion for your situation, it might ask you if you want some weekend survival tips, for example. And you could say yes, and then it would offer you some ideas, some concrete examples about how to get through those hard times of the weekend. And if you say no, you could keep talking about how the quiet affects you. So that's the kind of support the Grief Companion offers. It works with you at your pace, and answers the questions that you specifically have. So it's validating, it's practical, it's sort of human-like, even though it's AI, but it's not a replacement for real connection. It's not even a replacement for therapy. But when no one else is around, it's something. And sometimes that something makes a really big difference. I hear from widows all the time, and some are brand new to loss and others are years out, but they all say the same thing. They really do appreciate the topics and the way that I talk about widowhood on Widow 411. Most of them wish they found the website a lot sooner, and that's why I keep showing up. I do all of this myself, from writing every blog post to creating every guide and every resource. I'm not a big company. I'm not a nonprofit. I don't have employees. I'm just a widow who refuses to let other widows feel as lost as I did. That's what drives me. Every email, every journal page, every product that I create, it all comes from that mission. So if you're not sure where to start, I would say go to the website. Go to widow411.com, and number one, sign up for the newsletter so you can hear from me every week. And while you're there, you can go to the Start Here section of the website, and you'll see all the most popular blog topics sorted by category. And you could peruse the website that way. But you can also send me an email at kim@widow411.com with any specific questions about the website or any of my resources or guides or any of the content. I read each and every email. So if anything here resonated with you today, or if you know someone in the trenches, please don't keep Widow 411 a secret. I built this to be shared, and I'm always open to collaborations or community events or projects that help us reach more widows earlier and more meaningfully. So I just want to thank you so much for your time today, and I hope to hear from you soon.
So everyone hears me okay? No more audio issues. Great. I just want to say thank you, Kim. I mean, that's incredible. I know you introduced a couple of resources that must be relatively new that I wasn't aware of. They're just fantastic. The work you do is really making a difference in so many lives. So we have a few minutes. If any of you have questions for Kim, Kim is available. She's having some bandwidth issues where she is today. So which is why we moved to a video, but she is available. She's with us today and can certainly answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, Chris. I'm sorry that my video is off. You can't see my face right now, but I can't. The tech gremlins are out for me today, so I'll just answer questions even though you can't see me.
And if you have a question for Kim, you can just unmute and ask it.
Hi, Kim. This is Nicole from Pittsburgh, PA. First of all, I want to say I'm so sorry for your loss. And my husband also died of a glio, so I understand everything that you had gone through. Gosh, this is just so amazing. And I'm just, what you're doing. And I'm just wondering, is there a particular theme that you are seeing right now that women, like the widows, are really, really struggling with? I know I did a car care clinic in June, and we actually had a little survey for them to fill out, and it seems like the widows here are really struggling with purpose, their purpose after loss. And I'm wondering if you're seeing that, and I'm sure you have some blog posts on that, but just wanting to get your, get your thoughts on that.
Oh my gosh, yeah, purpose is huge, honestly. And your spouse, actually, you're no longer a spouse. So you're not married, you're not a wife, you're not a husband. Not that we all wrap our purpose up into being wives or husbands, but that's, like half your identity, right? So purpose is kind of a big deal. I do talk a lot about purpose. I've got several blog posts about that. Some of my resources revolve around finding your purpose. So yeah, it's big. And it's not something that I think you have the mental or emotional bandwidth to really deal with in those first couple of years, because let's face it, we're just trying to survive, right? I mean, it's overwhelming. Widowhood is really, really freaking hard. So, you know, I would say like don't put the pressure on yourself to try to quote unquote find a purpose out of the gate. I mean, it takes a while to get used to your new life and your new I think we all deal with. I'm not sure it's something you need to focus on in those first few years, but definitely something that will more about. And I have it. So, you know, I could curate a list of the blog posts and talk about that if that'd be something that'd be helpful, but it's definitely on my site.
Yeah, I think it's really beautiful, painfully beautiful, beautifully painful, however you want to say it. But just that clearly, in our pain, you know, like God has clearly given you your mission field, you know, after loss. I feel that for myself. My husband died 20 years ago. And now I have a women's ministry, and under our umbrella is a big widows ministry. Um, so I just thank you for that. I'm just wondering, are you a faith-based? Um,
No, no, not faith-based.
okay.
There's something for everyone,
Yep,
regardless of your path. Yeah.
I agree. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for the question. I really appreciate it. This is a good one.
Absolutely.
Thank you to Nicole and Kim. Just to keep us on time, if you have additional questions, Kim gave you her email, kim@widow411.com, but also you can use the chat feature if you think of something while you're still online with us, and we'll forward any questions to Kim and she can get back to you, okay? But let's move on because we want to make sure that we have time for our connection sessions, okay? Again, Kim, thank you so much, and I will turn it over to Olivia at this time.
All right. Well, again, thank you, Kim, and thank you everyone for being here today and joining us in this session. It's time to move into our connection sessions, which is a meaningful opportunity to connect with others who are walking a similar path as you. So each room will be moderated by a compassionate facilitator who will gently facilitate the discussions with prompts and things, but talk about what feels natural to you during this time. Again, these sessions are not therapy, but they are a safe, supportive environment where you can be heard and hear others who genuinely understand. We'll reconvene in about 30 minutes. And so with that, I'm going to initiate the breakouts.
Olivia,
Yes.
it's Lynn. It wanted to send me to the sudden no children breakout, and that's not the one that you had listed me as for moderating. And I just wanted to make sure I didn't end up in the wrong place.
Okay.
Yeah, that might have changed, Olivia, just because of the way the breakouts, which is why I sent you that updated breakout list. Is Lynn's might have changed. Do you have that slide up?
Yep. Just trying to find you in my list, Lynn.
No problem. I just wanted to make sure I ended up in the right place and that there wasn't a group without a
You're the
moderator.
only one. You're the only one in that room, Lynn. So yes,
Oh,
it's the right place. May not
okay.
be your initial assignment, but
Okay.
yeah, I did them late last night, and so it may have changed slightly.
No worries. That's
Okay.
perfectly fine.
Thanks,
I just
Lynn.
didn't want to end up and not have somebody be supported. So
Great.
that was more
Thank
my
you.
concern. Absolutely.
Have fun.
All right. Welcome back, everyone. I'm sorry if not everyone had a moment to share in their breakout sessions, but I hope that everything that you heard was meaningful and that you felt supported and maybe even feel a little bit lighter. These connection spaces are powerful, and your willingness to show up and share and listen is truly what makes them work. So I just wanted to say a big thank you to our moderators and presenters. If those of you that are on with us still have a minute to stay afterwards to debrief, that would be great. But I did want to offer a sincere thank you to our incredible moderators. Those were Kim, Lori, Lynn, Stephanie, and Dawn for guiding those heartfelt conversations with such care and compassion. And then a special thank you once again to Kim, founder of Widow 411, for sharing your wisdom, heart, and tools with us today. You've given us so much to think about and build upon. I'll be sharing all of those resources in a follow-up recap email with all of you that attended today, so stay tuned for that. Additionally, please mark your calendar now for the next Coffee and Connect session on Tuesday, August 19th at 9 a.m. Central Time. This series will be featuring one of our moderators, Don Nargi, with the W Connection, so stay tuned. We'll be introducing more valuable resources designed to support and empower you on your journey during that session. And it's another opportunity to learn, connect, and grow, as well as receive another raffle ticket for the vacation drawing. So make sure you go to our website and register if you haven't already, or you can grab the QR code on your screen now. So in closing, thank you so much. You showed up today, and that means something. It means everything. Whether you shared a story, asked a question, or simply listened, you made this space better and this event better. So thank you for being with us. From all of us at Wings for Widows, thank you for letting us walk alongside you, and we hope we see you again in August. Have a great rest of your morning. Thank you so much. If there's any questions, feel free to stay on. Otherwise, you can drop off. And a note for next time, I apologize that the chat feature was again disabled. We thought we had remedied that. But next time, the chat will be available for further resource sharing. So thank you.